Hello everybody, how's it going? Christian from Treasure Town here, and today we're going to be speaking about the 2012 penny. Now, most of these are not super rare, but I'm going to be focusing on the ones that are, and that will be worth a fair amount of money. We'll be primarily focused on some of the die varieties, so if you look really closely, you might be able to find one of these rare attributes that collectors are paying up for. There's also some mint errors that we'll cover towards the end, though shield pennies are a little bit sparse in that category, and then we'll also cover the conditions when they get valuable. But let's get right into the presentation. And here we've got the 2012 Lincoln cent. Going to get into the shield cent briefly. Basically, the only thing that's cool about it is the 13 stripes are for the 13 original states, and then they're supporting the one federal sort of union. The Lincoln's profile here was the first U.S. circulating design that featured a U.S. person, and the double dies are 2014, 2015, 2018D, and 2019 that are pretty significant, enough to be certified by PCGS or NGC, but we'll be getting into some of the ones on this coin that are a little bit more minor. Over 3.1 billion were produced, so there's no shortage of these. To be worth certifying, you're really going to have to hit the Mint State 67, but especially the Mint State 68 range, where you'll actually make money. 68 is about $150, while 68 plus is like $500, and it's going to have to be a virtually flawless coin with almost no chatter anywhere on the coin and booming red luster. So just a warning before you go certify something that looks somewhat like this but has a little bit of tiny hits. It gets worthless really quickly. One of the ways to have coins that are worth more is if you have a double die obverse. Now these are tilted hub doubling coins, class 9. They are single squeeze, and the doubling is not going to be super significant, but a little bit of notching in the lower left corners of the ends in E, R, T, and Y. So you can see it's really slight. There's extra thickness almost as well. So a little bit of a spread, but the values are pretty muted for this. There's not a huge amount of collecting, but again, I mean, it's a fun treasure hunt. $3 or 1 cent. You know, I'd rather take the $3. Here we see the similar thing going on where it's a spread. You can see how it's elongated, and there's like a tiny little step, or it sort of forms into just a diagonal shape almost, but where it's worth a few bucks. And then over here, the double die obverse, real extra thickness looking coin. You can see it maybe a little bit in the date, but it's more so in the all through the Liberty, especially in the RTY, just super thick there. And you know, $12, people really recognize this one as being significantly extra thick. Then we also have this 2012, another double die obverse. This one's more of a northwest southeast spread where it's elongated in that direction, especially in the 0. I think that's the best place to see it, but you can also see it a little bit in the 2. Notice how even this 2 is much more thick than that one. This one's less valuable, maybe in the $1 to $5 range, but still fun. We've got yet another one. I think it's tougher to see, but again, similar notching in the lower parts of the E, R, T, and Y. And then a 6th one, I think it's part of the trail dies over here. That's not necessarily a variety, but here we can see a little bit of notching in the bottom parts of the R, T, and Y again. There's also the double die reverse. I think that this is one of the more noticeable ones, where at that shield, there's a tiny bit of doubling, but it's really noticeable in the JFM engraver's initials, especially on the underside of that J. The M, it's so small where that sort of doubling is tougher to delineate, but that J, it's pretty clear. This one goes for about $7.50 to $10 in Mint State 65. There's a few different mint errors that I want to cover. Didn't have a price result for this, but saw it in the PCGS True Views. This one is a die adjustment strike. So when they're getting the striking presses ready and the pressure adjusted, something like this can happen, where it's not that this is worn, this is a Mint State coin, but they were just figuring out at what point, are the coins going to come out really nice in terms of their condition. Then there's also a defective planchet one. The reason I don't have 2012 is because there's so few as the production standards increased that I don't really have much to go over here. There's only a few auction results, but the defective planchet can result from some impurities getting into the metal before it's struck or after. And then that sold for $550. As you can see, the sale prices are pretty high. This one auctioned up to $145, and obverse struck through, so some sort of thing came between the planchet and the striking the die, and would have received the striking, fell away, and now we have this 2020 coin. But yeah, really interesting. I'm more focused. I would say this is the coolest double die reverse, and then there's also this significant extra thickness over here. It's pretty noticeable, but that's what we've got today. And don't be misled by people saying it's really easy to get $100 or $500 2012 Lincoln cents. It's really challenging to find them in the condition necessary to be sort of at that upper end high range. Thanks for watching the video. I'd encourage you to like the video, comment, and make sure to subscribe to my channel. And I also have Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and some other social media platforms. You can also go to my main channel website, treasuretownYT.com, to learn more about the channel and sort of stay in contact. I also will eventually host all of these videos on coinsmetalscards.com, which will be both news, marketplace, and coin information. I do have the goal of eventually getting pretty much every US coin, date, mint mark, denomination on the channel with a similar video to the one that you just watched, and that will likely all be hosted there. And then I also have treasuretowncoins.com, which is sort of my coin dealing wing, coin dealing only entity that is a little bit less focused on content production. So thank you so much, and I'll look forward to seeing you on some of my other videos. I also have videos that are not just the date, mint mark, denomination recap in this format, so you can check some of those out, and I'll have fun seeing you there.